Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triangle Defense Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Ortega.
I'm your host, Jonathan King.
Who is fresh from the Bulls game. He just came back from Bulls Nuggets. Shout out to the Bulls for winning that. I mean, they're
courtside.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
They're banged up completely, but still got the W. But intro topic today, John, I'm actually curious. This is something I kind of had a bit of a discussion with my roommate about the other day. When it comes to Nike basketball shoes, are the days of like Nike basketball just kind of dead? Like when it comes to like a shoe thing, because I know you probably remember too when we were both in high school how huge LeBron's, KD's, Kobe's, all of that was. Like, is it just like what do you think has gone into the I don't really see an interest in it anymore from anybody.
Well, I disagree because I think for Nike to decline, you'd have to have a competitor step up, and that hasn't happened either. Yeah. So, who do you think is the leading large in basketball shoes?
I mean, in the sense that, dude, kids used to wear LeBrons to school.
Yeah, I mean, kids used to wear D Roses to school too, though.
True, yeah.
And that, you could argue that Adidas was way more popular back then than they are now.
Even Under Armour had a bit of a surge too in the
Curry,
the Curry MVP years and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just don't.
They're more popular than Jordan would, I guess, be the competitor, in terms of brand, because they have Russ, they have Zion, they have some guys, and they have some pretty cool shoes. But
they have Luka.
Oh, really? Jordan does?
Yeah. Luka's a Jordan guy.
So they have some guys, but I mean, Nike has the premier shoe lines. They still have LeBrons coming out. That's still a popular shoe line. Kyrie is one of my favorite shoes.
I couldn't even tell you what the new LeBrons look like. And this is from a guy that is very into shoes.
19s.
Yeah, see, I couldn't even tell you. Even the new KDs and stuff like that. Like KD shoes were what got me into, collecting sneakers and all that stuff. And I mean, and who is even poised to become the next Nike signature athlete?
Giannis's shoes are okay. He's got the Zoom threes.
I still put him in the same category as generation as LeBron, KD, and
I guess, but he's guys. Way younger.
He is, but
what about Ja? Ja's with Nike.
I was thinking Ja too. Yeah,
he'd be a cool shoe, especially since Kyrie might be pseudo retired, and his line of shoes was one of my favorites.
I know. I
don't know what's going on there, but
definitely. But
in terms of dominance, no, I think it's because I don't think I'm not confident in saying anyone else. And if someone's going to lead, it's got to be Nike.
There's just not as much buzz as there was on Nike basketball. Like I said, in high school, you used to wear KDs to school. You'd go to a party wearing a pair of Kobe's and some khaki joggers or something like that. It's just different now. People, I don't know. There's not as much buzz, but just something that I had on my mind. But
I don't know.
Yeah,
we're not in middle school anymore. We were wearing Jordans to play football in the
grass field or something. Yeah, exactly, for sure. But moving on, then just a quick little intro there. We have a ton to talk about on this episode here, and we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go right into the part of the show, the 3-pointers, where we both bring 3 topics that happen throughout the week in the NBA, and we discuss them. So, what do you got for me first, John?
Yeah, let's. If you want to get it out of the way, do you want to talk about the Grizzlies blowout? So I'm sure if you've followed any sort of basketball in the past week, you know about the Grizzlies beating the Oklahoma City Thunder by a score of 152-79, which is by far the largest blowout margin in NBA history.
What is it? 73 points? About that?
Yes.
So I didn't watch the game. That was Thursday night.
You'd have to be crazy. If you saw the score, you might want to tune in. But judging by the beginning of this game, nothing about this seemed appealing to me.
I was at a Kanye themed art show on Thursday night, and I remember getting I think it was a Shams or a Woj notification that the Grizzlies had won by 73 points, and I was just like, I need to look at the box score. Like, I need to see what the hell just happened here.
So you want me to bring up some facts?
Yeah, well. So the thing that blew my mind the most out of it was just that Ja Morant didn't play.
Yeah,
And everybody. I looked down the box score, and there was, I think, only one player that didn't hit double digits.
Begs the question: is Ja Morant the problem in Memphis?
Get out of here! Yeah, well, like legit, like Steven Adams had like 19 points, and like Desmond Bane had double digits. Jaren Jackson Jr. had like 24. They legit let the entire roster get into double digits, except for one player. But
so here's some facts about the Grizzlies blowout. So this is courtesy of CBS Sports. The Grizzlies set franchise records for points at 152, bench points at 93, field goals made 60, assists 41, field goal percentage at 62.5%, and effective field goal percentage at 72.4. They set all those records in that one game.
93 bench points?
Yeah, you bring up bench points because that's good, because that's my next fact. The Grizzlies bench outscored the entire Thunder team 93-79.
Yeah, right. Well, because I figure, like when you're winning by that much, you just play a lot of the bench. But like 93 bench points is nuts. Yeah. Wow.
Memphis's biggest lead was 78. OKC never led, and apparently, so the game was in Oklahoma City, I believe, and the crowd was chanting to lose by 80. Like they were booing,
Really?
They were booing every time the Thunder got a stop and Memphis didn't score.
Do you even stay when your team is losing by 78? Like, would you
I think
stay?
If it's that big of a margin, yeah.
I think just to say that I was there.
Yeah,
because I don't think
20. Then
I don't think we see that again. Like anytime, soon.
If we're losing by like 21, that's just kind of sad because it's like they're playing for no reason, you know it.
But 78 is comical.
78, that's so bad that it's like you could step on the court and be not as bad as the guys that are getting ass blasted.
How does that even happen? Like I said, I didn't watch the game, but like
I don't know if many people did because this game was just trash from the start. The Grizzlies scored more points in the second half than OKC did all game, 80 points in the second half to their 79. I don't know if that's ever happened in NBA history. I haven't heard anyone saying that, but I don't think it would. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no way.
Grizzlies rookie Santi Aldama, who I've never heard of before, scored career-high 18 points and set a single-game franchise record with plus 52 rating in 28 minutes. And on the flip side of that, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, the Villanova product, who's also a rookie, was minus 56 in 23 minutes.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. It's fucking insane.
What a wild game that you have.
The Grizzlies scored more points in the paint, 82, than the Thunder did in the entire game.
Also embarrassing.
And the last fact is the Memphis win ties the 1940 Chicago Bears 73-0 shutout for the largest margin of victory in North American professional sports history.
Hey, shouts to the Bears.
Yeah, which I guess there's only basketball and football because baseball is not going to have a 73 point.
Yeah, right. Because there's a mercy rule in baseball, right?
Not in the MLB, there isn't.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so. 73 runs. They'd have to be like fielding a team of Make-A-Wish kids to get that much. So, and then same thing with hockey. Your goalie would have to be comatose or something.
Right. So. Yeah. Interesting. Huh.
So that's Memphis. That's the biggest blowout in NBA history. We were alive to hear about it at least. And
I doubt we ever see anything like that again.
The NBA should fine the Thunder for being ass. That should not be you should not be allowed to be that ass.
Without Ja Morant.
Do you think
Ja Morant didn't play?
Like if the Grizzlies play like Gonzaga doesn't lose by that much. They don't.
No,
they don't.
I really don't think so.
They could play. They could even play like a decently good college team. They could play like Villanova and I feel like they wouldn't get blown out by 73 just because they slow the pace down. Like
I think Nova would lose by maybe like 35,
40
probably.
40. Yeah,
but like 70, no way. Yeah, no, I agree. No, I think you're right, and
yeah,
I think somebody needs to investigate and get to the bottom of that, because there is.
Yeah,
I don't see why an NBA team is losing to another NBA team without their best player by 73 points.
Somebody paid to watch this as a Thunder fan. Somebody paid to go to the stadium, paid for parking, and went to sit in a seat that was probably maybe a couple $100 to see their team get fucking ass pounded,
dude,
by 73 points.
The 73-9 Warriors didn't even do that to
not even
the
close.
76ers like that
not
year.
Even
like
close.
What other bad teams, the Timberwolves or whatever. Same thing, like you said, not even close.
They would beat them by like 30 and then bench. Well, they beat them by like 25 because they bench all their guys in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And then, it wouldn't matter. But I'll leave you with one last fact. The Thunder also played some guy named Paul Watson Jr. 31 minutes, and I've never heard of that guy in my life.
Oh.
And I just think it's funny. They played him like starter minutes.
Beats the hell out of me.
I don't think we'll ever hear from him again.
Right. But, yeah, probably not. But interesting. Yeah, I mean,
let's move on from that.
Yeah. Moving on to my first topic. The Rockets have won 6 games in a row.
Yeah, they sure have.
Christian Wood and Eric Gordon are on fire. And the funny thing about Eric Gordon is he is either just not really that good.
Yeah.
Or like a borderline all-star player, or he's injured. There is no in between any of that.
And it's been like that since those Rockets teams were actually good and could use him. Now they're complete ass, and no one cares if Eric Gordon plays.
Right.
Because if he gets up there and puts up 20, there's a good chance of losing by double digits anyways. So.
Hey, but they're winning though, and he's
playing
well.
Their biggest win streak in the NBA right now, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
It might be the Bucks, but I think it's the Rockets. No, it is the Rockets. Yeah. It's the Rockets. Six wins.
No, after the Suns lost, yeah. But even there's a bunch of other interesting pieces on that team too. Jayshawn Tate is a great inside scorer.
We talked about him preseason. I don't know in what context. I think I said that he was my most underrated player on the Rockets.
I believe he was. Yeah, I believe he was. Yeah,
he's awesome. A little undersized because they play him at forward a lot. I think he's only like 6'4", 6'5".
But he's still good at getting to the basket.
Yeah.
Like I said, he is a really, really. I mean, the majority of his points come from, just right around the basket. Yeah, so I mean, he's a really good inside scorer.
Porter Jr.
I was just about to say has become a way better playmaker. I think he's probably averaging like 7-8 assists a game. Which, I mean, is a leap for him.
He's doing it without turning the ball over as much. Because last year he could get the assists, but he would sort of force it, I feel like, and turn the ball over, and it's the Rockets. So it's tough to get assists anyways. But,
and then Garrison Matthews is shooting.
I remember him.
He was He was from Boston, right?
Wizards,
yeah. He is shooting 42% from 3 on 7 attempts a game.
That's all he does is just shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember there was a game where they played the Heat, and I bet on the Heat, and I'd never heard of him, and he put up or something like that, including I think maybe a game winner. And they were like all threes. He hit like 8 threes.
Oh god, that'd be sick.
It was just nuts. Yeah, it was hilariously depressing.
So then there is so there was discussions on this Rockets team before the season started. Some people talked about them being like a sneaky maybe playoff team, and then
who the fuck said that?
I swear there was people that had really high hopes for Jalen Green, and I mean Kevin Porter Jr. had like 50 points last season, and
a playoff team.
Like a sneaky playoff team. Yes, there was
discussions like sneaky playoff team is in Jason Kidd is a sneaky candidate for head coach of the year.
No, there would trust me. There was discussion on Twitter. People saying like, "Oh, don't sleep on the Rockets," and they were factoring in
Pearl Harbor levels of sneaky.
Christian Wood and Eric Gordon and guys like that. They're 3.5 games behind the 10 seed.
Yeah, which is Sacramento, I believe.
Portland. who brace yourselves, guys. We're going to have a lot to say about Portland.
Yeah, well, actually, it's to the Timberwolves now after tonight.
Oh, really?
They're the 10th seed. The Kings are the 11th. The Blazers are the 9th seed at 11 and 13 because the West is a mediocre bath of shit.
Yeah, for real.
I hate looking at these standings for the Western Conference. I know we talked about this last episode, but it's just fucking –
yeah.
The team Memphis is 4 games above 500, and they're comfortably the 4th seed is just like disgusting.
And yeah, no, like I said, they're 3.5 games behind the 10 seed, and if they keep this win streak up, the Rockets, who were I think 1-13 at some point.
Yeah, no, they were 1-16.
Yeah, 1-16.
They're on a 6-game win streak,
could
and they
sneak
started
into the playoffs.
Beat the Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know. Because people are like, no, they should tank. They should start losing on purpose. And so, because there was also people saying that them losing that many games and losing that bad wasn't good for these guys' development either. So I really don't know what the plan
I see both sides of the coin. Obviously, you don't go out there and be like, all right, guys, miss shots and turn the ball over.
Yeah.
But, that's, tanking. The roster's already tanked. It's up to them to win games now. And they have guys, but, development, I don't know. I think you can develop players without winning games. We've seen it happen. It's not like, it's 2K. It's like they don't get a bonus for winning a game or something. But you don't want to go out there and have losing be a habit. I think that might be what's happening with the Thunder if they're not careful because they're so bad and so ass that they go out there and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander puts up great stat line and it's not even close to being to mattering. But don't really know where I'm going with this. The
Rockets could very much possibly sneak into that 10 seed with how we
I doubt it, but we'll see.
The West is. Yeah, and I mean there's still a lot of time for them to be shit for the rest of this season, so I'm not putting too much faith into that. But what do you got for your second topic?
Let's talk about the Knicks and their bad. The Knicks started off. I don't even want to say hot. Well, yeah, hot. They started off hot. They started off 5-1. Bing bong, all that jazz, and they've lost their last 3, and as well as 4 of their last 5. So, what's going on with the Knicks, Alex?
I think the Kemba stuff was a clear issue that was going on there, and like I mentioned before,
you think they're a good team?
I think there's good parts of the team. I really like RJ Barrett and the leap that he's taken defensively.
But he's been hurt, right?
He's been hurt. Yeah, Julius Randle's been fine. But no, I think it really comes down to it. It's been frustrating to watch them. I watched a couple games, and with just how
they're a tough team to watch.
I know,
they're really, really tough. They have no half-court offense besides Derrick Rose and Julius Randle. They are really, really one of the worst offenses in the league right now.
Yeah, defensively they're fine. I mean, with Tom Thibodeau as coach and all of that, but like I said, it's just frustrating to watch them on offense because guys like Kemba and Evan Fournier are just completely useless with when their shot isn't falling, and it's just hard to watch. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time, especially with benching Kemba and all of that.
Yeah, you good? I dropped my phone again. It's kind of interesting. I feel like people saw this coming, including I think both of us. We both picked them to regress.
Because I had them as my
popular sentiment.
I think I had them as my 8 seed.
I think I did too. 8 or 9.
Just Julius Randle's performance in the playoffs, I think was kind of. He got exposed. He got
and his shooting last season from 3 was really, really unsustainably good.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
An outlier season, and it's proved to be that already. And right now as it stands, they're the 11th seed. Wouldn't even make the play. They're a game below 500, which East will get you nothing.
Right.
They're pretty far out. Especially, the East is so clogged. Even below them, the Raptors are 11 and 13. They're not a horrible team. And the Pacers are 10 and 16. They're not horrible either. They're not great, but
Yeah.
And then you have the shitty Eastern Conference teams.
Right. But it's I wasn't sure. There was discussions because I remember we talked about at the beginning of the year and which teams had hot starts, and we were trying to talk about figure out who was sustainable and who wasn't. And I think we left the Knicks as like a to be determined because
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't like I said I wasn't super high on them going into the season. I think I'm pretty sure I had them as my 8 or 9,
No. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think both of us did. I
yeah,
was blinded by the Bing Bong, man. They were hyped up. They were
right.
exciting and fun. New York basketball is always fun when they're good, even if
Because I
they're
want them to be
villainous and
good.
stuff.
I want them to be good,
I
and I
I think I do. I hate Knicks fans for the most part. Their culture is awesome. They
right.
love their team no matter what. Madison Square Garden's the best venue in basketball. New York is the best basketball is truly the mecca of basketball.
I think it's Chicago, but
I think it's New York. I think playground culture there is another on a whole nother level.
true. Yeah, no,
But
that's true. That's true.
but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the Knicks being mediocre. But one thing that we can say with proof is that we kind of called it so far, and I
Yeah.
think I have no reason to believe that they'll improve from this a little bit below 500, especially the way the East is.
My hope is that the Bulls get the 1 seed, which is possible.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they
very
are
much
the one
so.
seed after this win tonight.
They have the most wins in the East, but their percentage is lower than the Nets.
Oh, okay, I
So
thought.
they've beaten twice.
Yeah,
So it's
interesting.
the Nets are 16-7, which is 696, and the Bulls are 17-8, which is 680. So technically, the
Oh,
Nets
okay.
are in front of us, but we've beaten them twice. And it's just a matter of games played. So
Right. So I'm hoping that the Bulls get the 1 seed and that the Knicks can maybe slide into the 8 seed, when
that
they're
would be
playing
great.
a game and all that stuff.
That's a bad
I would
matchup for the
love a
Bulls. I think
series.
they play
Yeah,
they play us they play us tough.
they
I mean,
do. They do. Well, because I'm just based
we're
off that
better
last
than
game that
them.
we watched. Last
Yeah,
game that we played with DeRozan, being clutch at the end and all of that. I still think the Bulls handle him in probably like 6 games.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah, I'm not worried per
yeah,
se, but they play us pretty tough.
there would be moments of that series that I'd be nervous.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and we'd lose one or maybe even two. But
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But
that's pretty much it. The Knicks, man, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, no,
Don't
not
know.
not very good right now, and I
Yeah,
want them to be good, but yeah, not great. And speaking of people that I want to be good, for my second topic, James Harden has not been great this season.
he was horrible against the Bulls.
Yeah, I
He
just
looks fat and out of shape and disinterested, and his defense. So back in the day, way like 6 years ago, the meme was always Harden's the worst defender ever because
yeah.
he gives no effort. And then he sort of turned into an okay defender.
I
He
think
can defend in the post.
he heard the criticism and
Yeah, he
it,
turned into an okay defender. He can steal the ball a little bit. He can gamble. And now he's back to being disinterested and being a horrible
yeah,
defender. There were some
terrible defender.
lapses in not just the Bulls game, but against the Knicks and stuff like that, where it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
Right,
Like
yeah.
it's
Like you
like he's
said,
not
just
getting
just
paid or
looks
something.
disinterested, yeah.
He has the enthusiasm of an unpaid intern when he plays basketball.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
really just like what the hell. Like
Basically.
if you put Gary Payton Jr. in there, it's like he goes ballistic and fights for his life, and then Harden acts like he's getting
Yeah.
like
Does not
like he's
care.
part of charity work or something like that.
And then just looking specifically at that game against the Bulls from Saturday, he shot 5 for 21 from the field and 1 for 5 from 3, and only got to the free throw line twice. He shot 4 free throws and missed 1.
He can't do the dip and rip anymore.
No, yeah, no. Harden has just not looked good, and for the entire season, he's averaging 21 a game, but it's not like it's an efficient 21 or like a 21 that's really. I mean, the Nets are still winning games, but I mean, is that like necessarily because of James Harden?
Which kind of baffles me. It's pretty much just Kevin Durant and Patty Mills because their supporting guys aren't that great, and their team is just
LaMarcus Aldridge played great on Saturday.
Yeah, he did. But their team doesn't strike me as a team that anyone's afraid of. I think we've talked about this, but it's like they're not the Brooklyn Nets, the 1 seed. They're just like a team that's just kind of messing around. Like, I don't know. They're really the fact that they're still a 1 seed is baffling to me, especially when the Bulls are kind of working their ass off and they have something to prove. I guess the Nets do too, but they sure don't act like it.
No, definitely not. And it makes me wonder because I mean, like Harden's a guy that just like 2 years ago he was averaging like, I believe it was like
38 a game.
Yeah, 38
a game. Yeah, which
that
is
feels
nuts, and I think doesn't get talked about enough. With
that feels like so long ago, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. He was the offense for Houston that season. Now 100%. He couldn't bother to score or do anything on offense for the Nets.
So does it make you think that this is the James Harden decline though? Like, are we done seeing Harden being like a 30-point per game scorer? Or
I think it's just his role. I think he's not used to deferring to KD, which he does.
Right.
I mean, when Kevin Durant's on your team, you defer to him.
Yeah.
And when he was scoring 37 a game, it's like he was gonna fucking shoot it and score and do literally everything. Now it's like he's not a very good off-ball player, so he either gives it up to KD and he'll do whatever. And then when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he gets all out of rhythm and you know, it's not good for his game because his game is ball dominance no matter what. He's either dribbling or passing or shooting. You know, him standing around, him doing off-ball stuff and getting passes while cutting to the hoop and all that stuff. It's not really his game. So decline, I don't know. If you put him back on the Rockets right now, he probably averages like 32 a game. So
well, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. He's not even really looking like a top 10 guy this year.
No, not this year. No.
So it makes you think, and it makes me wonder what he's going to be for the rest of his career now too. But is this the decline? Like you said, time will tell. We'll find out.
Yeah,
but
I'd say if I had to answer, I'd say no. But I need more sample size.
Exactly. But, I mean, that's all I have to say about Harden and his season so far. What's your last?
There's a spider on my desk.
Get him.
There was a spider. Oh, my God. Didn't you just kill a spider before your show, too?
I did.
Before your thing? There's a spider on my desk. Okay. I think I got him.
Good. But what is the last topic?
Right. It kind of threw me off today because he just had a really good game tonight against the Pacers that I wasn't able to see. But Bradley Beal hasn't been very good lately.
He had 30 tonight.
He had 34 in 39 minutes, shot pretty well. But let me give you these game logs from his last 4 games. 14 points, 14 points, 19 points, 18 points on 33%, 35%, 40%, and 38% shooting. Bit of a slump. Looks like he's breaking out of it now with that big game. They lost. The Wizards are on a 3-game losing streak, lost 4 of their last 5. Like I said, I think they're coming back down to earth.
Well, because they won their last game, but I believe it was like KCP or somebody that had like a 28-point game. And, I mean, 35% from the field when you're Bradley Beal is just not going to cut it. And it looks like the Wizards, because that was another team that had a very hot start to start the year, and we discussed if it was sustainable or not. I remember you saying that it wasn't sustainable, and the Wizards are starting to look like the Wizards again. I believe they're maybe like 16-11.
Yeah,
maybe.
This season.
Yeah,
they're 14-11, so not even.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they're looking like the Wizards again. I mean, they're starting to resemble more a team that is going to win about 40 games. Which I'll still give them. Yeah.
But I mean, even with Bradley Beal scoring a bit, his shooting percentages have been pretty bad. Shooting 26% from 3 on the season.
Ugh.
Horrible. His last couple games, 1 for 3, 1 for 3, 0 for 3, 1 for 5, 1 for 5. 2 for 7, 0 for 4, 2 for 7, 1 for 7. He's been straight up bad from 3, and that's a big part of his game.
Right.
I mean, if the Wizards are going to win games, it's going to be Bradley Beal, and right now he's not really doing it. Even scoring 34 points tonight, shot 90% from the free throw line, still not so good from 3. I mean, they he just needs to be more efficient.
And I mean, we haven't seen Beal, not that I can remember, have like a huge slump like this. I
No,
mean,
he's
this is
usually
a
pretty
guy that was
consistent.
like maybe a game or two away from winning scoring title last year.
Yeah, and the Wizards are pretty inconsistent, but Beal's not.
Yeah.
That's the one
Yeah,
constant
right.
to depend
Yeah,
on
exactly.
is him scoring. I love his game. I think, well, last year, inside and outside, he's tremendous because he can. He's he's pretty much equal in how good of a shooter he is and how much he can drive to the paint and fight through contact and all that stuff. But
Right.
this year, that outside shot has not hit at all.
Yeah.
And it's going to start costing the Wizards like it already has.
And if they want to make the playoffs, like you said, I mean, there's other guys stepping up that are playing well. You know, whether it be Spencer Dinwiddie or KCP or Kyle Kuzma or whatever. But if they're going to make the playoffs, it's going to be on Bradley Beal, and he needs to step up. And like you said, those 35% from the field and 26% from three.
On the
Is just
season, he's
not
shooting
acceptable,
18% from 3 in December in 5 games.
God, that's disgusting. Yeah, not acceptable,
Really
man.
Yeah.
Especially with the caliber of shooter that we know he is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a slump like I have never seen from Bradley Beal before. Interesting.
I don't know what it is, but Wizards fans don't want to find out probably. But
no.
Okay.
No, but all right then. Moving on to my final topic right here then too. I'm pretty excited to talk about this one, and I think I told you that already. But the Cavs are one of my favorite teams to watch right now, man.
Yeah.
And
I'm getting messages from people about the Cavs.
Yeah, people weren't sure, going into the season. They're like, I don't know what the Cavs are doing. I don't know. Like, people already counted them out to go into the season. I mean, it just didn't seem like they had a lot going on.
And no LeBron, and people I think I had them as the 13 seed.
I would need to go back and see what I thought about them, because I remember I was high on Darius Garland going into the season.
I mean, I like their two guards. I'm a big Sexton guy. And I like their bigs, Mobley, but I talked about Jarrett Allen in the offseason. Worth his money, looking like an AllStar almost.
Very much. I mean, he was like player
Ricky
of the
Rubio
week.
Is cool.
Ricky Rubio was a great addition.
Incredible player. People thought that they were going to buy him out because it was sort of a weird fit, veteran player for this sort of crappy team. But he's been great for them.
Yeah.
What they really need is like a really solid wing. But that'll come. But I mean, again, Mobley's been hurt this past month, and the Cavs are the 9 seed, which in the East is 13 and 12.
I was gonna say they're a very clear playoff team. Like they're not going to miss the playoffs, I don't think.
Probably not. But you look at the teams behind them, the Hawks and the Knicks. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for either of those teams to be better than the Cavs, and that would land the Cavs at the 11th seed, which would make them miss the playoffs. Who's ahead of them?
I think the Cavs are a better team than the Knicks right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, but, definitely. And then I can still very much see. I mean, Boston's been very up and down this year too. Do I think they'd miss the playoffs? Maybe not, but I think there's a possibility that they go on another slump or losing streak or whatever, and
they've been better recently, better than they were at the beginning of the season for sure. It seems like they seem less dysfunctional, but they are super inconsistent. Yeah, and then the Sixers, obviously, they have to scrap and claw for every one of their victories.
Yeah,
basically, because they're always in disarray.
But still, I mean, I think that the Cavs are a playoff team in a very strong Eastern Conference. Top to bottom, the Eastern Conference is stronger than the West currently. And defensively, they are really, really solid. And the pieces are coming together on offense, too.
Yeah.
With guys like Darius Garland has a lethal pull-up jumper. Like Darius Garland's pull-up jumper is nasty.
He's like Steph Curry, basically.
Yeah, honestly. And then Mobley and Jarrett Allen are the best defensive.
Yeah, and Mobley and Collin Sexton have been hurt for a couple weeks now. I think they're going to be out even more a couple weeks, and they're still fighting.
Mobley played.
He's back.
Yeah, Mobley's back.
I know Sexton's hurt.
Yeah, Sexton's still hurt, but
yeah, but they've been dealing with injuries to some of their best players. You know who surprised me about the Cavs is JB Bickerstaff. I always knew him before this as the just permanent interim head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever would get fired, I'd be like, oh, there's JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, right.
He would just take over, and now he's got his own team, and it's kind of working out.
Honestly.
I don't know how much of an X's and O's guy he is really, because I haven't seen many Cavs games, but I like the lineups that he puts out.
Yeah,
I think it's really interesting. The 7-footers lineup, and then the two AllStar caliber guards that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all coming together for them, and I mean, I just need to talk about Evan Mobley some more. I think he has one of the highest ceilings of any young player in the NBA.
Yeah,
I would guarantee he's probably an all-star next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe not all-star because that has a lot to do with point totals, but his impact is defensively is the most impressive part of his game.
Yeah, I think he'll be defensive player of the year.
He could very well could
career.
Be, yeah.
He should. I mean, he should be.
He's
dude.
like most impressive defensive rookie since Tim Duncan. I'm pretty sure. I don't think
that's the comparison that I was going to make. Yeah. Maybe Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Okay. Rookie year. I can buy that.
Probably Dwight Howard, but I don't know. I mean, Mobley looks so polished on defense out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think he very much has potential to be a defensive player of the year. At some point, I see multiple first-team all defenses in his career. And I just cannot express enough how impressed. This is a guy if we go back to talk about, the draft and just rookies that we were, discussing before the season started, I was not high on Evan Mobley.
I think I was, but I wasn't this high. I don't know if anyone was. I don't know if anyone
nobody was. Yeah.
I mean, obviously his college resume speaks for itself a lot more than a lot of guys. As a freshman, he was the Pac-12 Player of the Year and the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, which doesn't happen often or ever. And then so coming in, he was always seen. I think we talked about this. He was seen as the safe choice.
Right.
You're going to get solid production out of him, but to be on this superstar trajectory so early, I didn't see it coming really. And to be this good defensively in the NBA and not just college or the Pac-12,
right?
I didn't see that coming either.
No.
So I thought it was a good pick in the draft. Or I thought it was an okay pick, and it's looking like a steal, honestly.
And at number 3, yeah, he was drafted at number 3. And I mean, there's probably, I mean, when we do a redraft later on, I mean, it's very possible that Mobley could be looked at as the guy that
I think he should be.
Overall. Yeah, I mean, I
think he's right now. If I'd take any rookie from that class, it'd definitely be Evan Mobley.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it leads me. I have a fun little question for you here. Rusty Buckets, who is one of my favorite NBA YouTubers, he uploaded a video. I believe it was either this morning or yesterday, talking about the possibility of LeBron coming back to Cleveland.
Again
for the third time.
So you can leave it for the third time? That'd be funny.
I think, I mean, because he's going to retire in Cleveland, right? Like, he has to.
Well, he seems pretty happy in LA. So his family likes it out there. His kid goes to high school out there.
But, like, his kid's not going to be in high school that much longer.
If you say he's going to – well, Bryce is.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple kids. If you say he's going to retire on, like, a one-day or some horseshit, which I think is dumb anyways, but, like, if you say then sure. But, like, is he going to come back to Cleveland? I really doubt it.
Well, like, okay, so here's my – I mean, I'm not super set on it happening, but I can kind of maybe understand it. So, for one, I mean, like, he is the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the best player in the team's history, and I think it's only right that he retires there. And the majority of people probably believe that same thing, too. I mean, it just wouldn't be right, him retiring.
He's a Cleveland guy, hometown hero, all that shit. In Cleveland, this is for you. He didn't say Miami, this is for you, or Los Angeles, this is for you. So,
So, in LA, if they don't win the title this year, which it's not looking like they will, that team is very expensive at the top. Between Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, anything like that. They have one asset, Talen Horton-Tucker. And I don't think that is going to bring them the because I don't think they win the ring this year. And then next year is another year of, like I said, there's not really a lot of flexibility.
I think. Well, they have a lot of guys on 1 years this year, don't they?
Yeah, but you're gonna bring in other guys that are 1 year level players.
Yeah, you're just not gonna. Hopefully, you'll get luckier instead of bringing in the dog shit that they brought in. That's the idea, I think, probably that they're going for.
But they're just way too expensive at the top to where you can't really shake the roster up. I mean, you might get a couple guys on a 1 year vet minimum that are gonna be good. I mean, like a Melo or anybody like that. But like,
Malik Monk or Kendrick Nunn.
Malik Monk or one of those guys. But you're not gonna get anybody that's gonna really shake the roster up. And
probably not. But the odds of getting someone better than what they have this year are pretty good. But
I don't know. Like I said, I just think the team is way too expensive. Yeah, between Russ.
I don't think that means LeBron jumped ship, if that's what you're getting at.
So his contract is up 2023. Right. So that'll be them losing this year and them losing next year too. And LeBron will be 39, I think. 30.
Yeah, 39.
Something like that. And I don't know. I think there could be something for him to do in Cleveland with Mobley will still be on his rookie deal. Isaac Okoro is a great young perimeter defender.
Yeah.
I think Collin Sexton's probably gone after this year.
Is his contract done after this year?
Yes.
He got 1 more year.
No, his contract's done this year. Because he's the Luka Trae Young class, and
he's about a max player, or about as close to it as you can get.
Who? Collin Sexton?
Yeah.
I'd say he's probably. I think he'll get paid around what like a Malcolm Brogdon is getting paid.
Oh, I think he'll get paid more than Malcolm Brogdon. If Michael Porter Jr. garners a max deal, then I think someone will pay Collin Sexton a max deal. Someone like the Pelicans or the Magic will throw an offer sheet at him because I think that's a good move for them.
I think Brogdon makes like 20 a year, probably.
Yeah, I think Brogdon signed a 4 for $80.
Okay, yeah. So I would think Sexton would be like a 24. A year.
Yeah. Okay.
Guy.
Yeah.
I'd say something
that's like that. Right below max. Anyways.
Max. Yeah. Because max, you're getting close to like 28-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say he's probably something like that. So Sexton would be gone, and like I don't know. I could see something. LeBron could maybe do something with that Cavs team, who is better than people expected them to be this year. And
I doubt it, but
I doubt it too.
We'll see,
I doubt it too, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny that he goes back for the 3rd time. That means he'd have to either retirement or leaving in free agency. That means he'd have to leave them a 3rd time.
Yes,
which is just fucking hilarious.
He has to, man. Back. He has to retire there though. When I think LeBron, like it's like Cavs LeBron,
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, no, that was it for the 3-pointers. I think. Did you have a question for me or a?
Yeah, we had a viewer mail for one of the first times.
Really?
Among other things, we already talked about the Cavs. That was a viewer mail from a Cleveland Cavaliers fan that watches this podcast, I think. And we have another one from someone. He wants to know if you think NBA divisions should be more emphasized in standings and stuff like that, in conferences. Because right now, as it stands, divisions are useless and don't matter whatsoever.
I don't even know what, like, I couldn't even name the divisions.
Like, if you were commissioner, would you want to make it more like the NFL, where like divisions matter and you hate, and because that breeds rivalries as well.
Yeah, right.
I don't like if you say like you're a Bulls fan, it's like, do you really hate the Bucks or the Cavs? Not really. You don't really care about them, like
Yeah, exactly.
That would change if you had to compete with them for the division, I think.
I'm just trying to think of
anything else.
I think it would be cool because, like you said, it helps build rivalries. Which I mean, in an 82-game season, it's hard to really build a rivalry or really have like a lot of fan buy-in to where like, oh well, we're gonna play the Knicks 4 more times this year, like like whatever.
Yeah,
but I think it would be cool, but I also just don't know. Because, I mean, would it change anything about the playoffs or, like, the seeding? Because, like, I mean, the NFL, to where, like, one team comes out of the
I mean, it used to
division
be the NBA where if you won your division, you got the top seed over a team that didn't win their division. Because, like, the trail, that was recently, of, like, 2014, the Trailblazers got the 3 seed over a team that they had more wins than them because they won the Pacific or they won the Northwest Division, which was stupid, and they got rid of it the next year.
Interesting.
That was the last time divisions mattered, and even then they didn't really matter.
So, I mean, would you want that to come back or no? Because
no.
I mean, it kind of annoys me in the NFL too, to where like you think about like the NFC East or something, to where you'll have like shit. What were the Washington football team?
Like 7-9 or
7-9 or something, and they made the playoffs. I don't know. I think it brings in room for fuckery like that to happen.
I think there's even more chance of the opposite happening, where conferences get abolished and nothing matters, because Mark Cuban's been a big proponent of that, of 16 best teams regardless of conference, which I don't think is going to happen, and I don't want that to happen. But I think that has a better chance than divisions mattering. I don't think anyone in the NBA is vying for divisions to matter.
Like I said, I've watched the NBA my entire life, and I couldn't even name all the divisions or who's.
Really?
Probably not.
3 in each conference. You want to try?
Yeah, hold up. You got the Pacific Division.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
The
they're pretty easy if you just think about it.
Oh, in the East there's the Atlantic.
Yeah, okay.
The Northern and Southern ones? Is that the other one? Fuck, I don't know.
The Confederacy and the non-Confederacy.
Right, yeah.
The Union, yeah. Yeah, I think it's so in the West you have the Pacific, the Southwest, and the Northwest.
Okay.
And then in the East you have the Atlantic, which is the Raptors division or whatever, and the Celtics. Then you have the Midwest, which is Bulls, Pistons.
Is it actually Cavs. The Midwest? Called the Midwest one? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's called the Midwest. Bulls, Pistons, and Cavs and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have the Southeast.
So Miami, Orlando.
Washington, Charlotte.
Washington's
Atlanta.
Not in that one.
Yeah, they are.
They're in the
really? Southeast.
What fucking sense does that make?
They ran out of teams, I guess.
So hold up.
Yeah.
So Miami, Orlando, Charlotte, Atlanta. And then okay, so who's in the Atlantic one? So it's the Raptors, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Nets, and
the Sixers.
Okay, damn. So okay, Washington got delegated to
the Southeast.
The Southeast.
That's just like the miscellaneous division where they just don't give a shit and they throw all the teams there.
Right.
It's even worse in like the Northwest, because I think because the Grizzlies and the Pelicans being in the West is always kind of funny to me, anyways. Because you think of Tennessee, you don't think West.
No, because I mean I think that they're actually further east than like
they're pretty in line with Chicago.
Right, yeah, exactly.
In terms of axes.
And if you said if the Chicago Bulls were in the Western Conference, everyone would be like, that doesn't make no fucking sense. But probably the same. Because so when I drove to
the same.
When I drove to Austin from Chicago, which is basically like a straight shot down, Memphis was the halfway point. So I mean, like they're very much
really
aligned. Yeah.
Halfway point from Chicago to Austin?
Oh yeah, I think halfway point. So that was like the
like 1/3 point maybe.
No, so it was a 17-hour drive, and Chicago
Memphis is like
probably like 8 hours.
Oh really? Okay.
Probably, I think. Halfway point was Little Rock, Arkansas.
You.
Yes, I almost stopped there, but I didn't.
Good choice. But,
honestly, I don't think putting emphasis on the divisions would really do anything. I think it would be fun in the sense of, building up some more rivalries and all of that. But like I said, I think there's more room to have some kind of fuckery like you do in the NFL, where you have 7 and 9 teams holding home court advantages over like teams with like 12 wins.
Yeah, it'd be fun in the way that like painting the basketball purple and pink would be fun.
Right.
Like it'd be kind of fun, I guess, for like a game or two, and then like get sick of it. But so that's my answer. That's our answers on NBA divisions. Awesome. If you have any more viewer mail, send it in. This was texted to me at like midnight one night, so either do that or comment on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Follow us on Twitter and do it there. So
for sure, yeah, let us know because we will answer all of your questions. Moving on to the part of the show, this is College Corner, where we talk about what is going on in college basketball. Take it away.
Purdue is number 1.
Moving on, that was College Corner, guys. Now we are going to get to the final topic of the show today. The Portland Trailblazers are broken.
And this is the biggest – I think it's a landmark moment in the Triangle Defense podcast. I really do. We've been talking ever since the inception of this podcast, maybe even since episode 1, about how much I hate Neil O'Shea.
It definitely got brought up.
How much I hate the Trailblazers not doing anything to improve their situation. And there's a lot that can happen now with the Trailblazers. It opens the floodgates. But I guess we'll talk about Neil O'Shea being gone because holy fuck, they should have fired him like 4 years ago.
And it took some kind of
scandal,
misconduct, or
I think there was some misconduct going on, yeah.
Which I don't even. I'm not 100% sure.
And they fired him mid-season, which I don't know. Does that make any sense, or does it matter? GM less so than coach, I'd say.
Yeah, I was gonna say less.
You don't want him to draft. You don't want him to go into free agency. You want to give your GM some time to like evaluate this roster, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Is stepping in, but like, are they gonna have an interim guy until the offseason, or are they gonna like research now? I couldn't imagine they're gonna steal someone mid-season.
No, I actually don't know how that works. Like,
I think it's just interim. I think like the owner works more closely in the interim GM, or if they have some other weird title, like they might have a vice president of basketball ops or some bullshit.
Yeah.
That guy will step in. Anyone but Neil O'Shea.
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't actually.
But it begs the question, Alex, what happens now with the Portland Trailblazers? Because you could go in so many different directions with this as the Blazers.
I think this is something, and you got to hear me out on this one. I think is something that is negative, that is positive, but also negative in the firing of Neil O'Shea. And positive in the sense that he was just not a good GM.
And he was stagnant and didn't do anything and was horrible at getting talent around Dame. And once he got talent around Dame, like CJ and Nurkic, the fit obviously wasn't working because they never had any success. And he refused to do anything about it, including, I think, trading CJ McCollum. But we'll get to that.
And then here where I come about the negatives. So firing a GM is a big deal.
It is.
It's not something that – like just
took the Bulls 20 years to fire their GM.
Exactly. Firing a GM is a huge deal. And firing a GM mid-season, not even mid-season. We're not in February yet. It's a sign of being unstable. It's not a positive thing no matter how you look at it. Firing your GM 20-something games in.
Yeah.
So I think that is long-term what the Trailblazers needed. They needed to move on from Neil O'Shea, but short-term, just not good for a season that is already going terrible for them.
Yeah.
And I want to talk then, too, a little bit about the expectations about the Blazers going into this season and Neil O'Shea and all the guys around them. So the Blazers were terrible defensively last year. They were awful on defense. And they've
been that way for years. Their calling card has never been defense. No. There's never a game where the Blazers wouldn't score below 120 and then their opponent beats them by like 7 or 8 or whatever.
Right. And they thought that firing Terry Stotts and bringing Chauncey Billups in was the solution.
Yeah.
They're last in defense this season.
Yeah, and it's another thing. So Chauncey Billups factors into that. It was rumored that when Damian Lillard was unhappy this past offseason, that he wanted more control with how the franchise was sort of making decisions on the court stuff. And part of that was getting a head coach that had experience, that had been a head coach before, and Chauncey Billups was not that. So I can't imagine that helped matters with Dame, who is also part of the problem. Can we shine a light on Dame?
Before we get into that, though, I just want to say that they thought that Chauncey, bringing Chauncey in and just bringing a fresh face at the coach was going to fix the defensive issues. It's just a personnel problem. I don't think it's a matter of just needing a new defensive scheme or needing new all of that. I don't think it was a scheme thing or anything like that. I think it was just not having good defenders on the team. And I don't think whoever the coach is, I mean, you could bring in Tom Thibodeau or whatever great defensive-minded coaches, and I don't think it changes a thing on this roster. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, I read an article today. I think it was CBS Sports again. I forget who wrote it. They brought up a good point that Damian Lillard has been pretty bad this season. Yes. And for far too long, Damian Lillard has been avoiding criticism because of how fiercely loyal to the Trailblazers he is. Even when times were pretty tough, even when they were stagnant, Neil O'Shea has been an idiot, and Terry Stotts hasn't done anything. Dame has never bolted for the Lakers. He's never teamed up with LeBron. He's never gone to whoever just won the title. He's never made super teams. He's been pretty devoutly loyal to the Trailblazers, and that's deflected a lot of criticism about Damian Lillard, about how he's not a great defender. His teams haven't had much real sustainable success when he has been the best player. And I think it's time to shine a spotlight on Dame Lillard, because if Damian Lillard, he has to be good for this team, for this franchise to do anything. It's on him.
Yeah, I agree, because like you said, I mean, it does come down to everybody just thinking of him as such a loyal guy and what he has done for Portland. But like, I mean, I watched this guy get clamped by Drew Holiday and watched him get swept in the series against the Pelicans, which they were favored. And it just was a conversation of just like, well, at least he stayed, at least he stuck around, and
For what though? For what? They're consistently hovering around the 8th seed. So it was good mute. Did you mute that?
Yeah, I muted myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah.
They're consistently hovering around like the 7th through 9th seed the past couple of years. And it's like, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
And they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years.
Yeah, which is just a staple for them, because their ownership also doesn't care that they contend. They're happy with getting just playoff revenue.
Right.
And it begs the question, what would you do with the Trailblazers right now? There's so many different ways you can go. The Sixers have been looming over them the past couple of days. Damian Lillard liked to post on Bleacher Report saying that he'd like to team up with Ben Simmons. Does CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons make sense if you work everything out pick-wise and throw in the necessary things?
Philly was actually the ones that approached Portland in the offseason about a CJ Ben Simmons swap.
Yeah.
And I believe they asked for CJ, a young player, and like 3 first-round picks. and I think that the Blazers said no. And I think
that's a horrible trade.
Dame was probably right now. I don't know, man.
3 firsts and CJ McCollum. Are you high?
What else is going to get? What else is going to
destroys your fucking franchise?
But still,
you're in the same position, just down 3 picks. If that's the case, that was a horrible trade for a GM that's trying to build something. I think.
Okay, so when it comes to these first round picks, man, like.
You're the Blazers. You might need them. They're in the 9 seed right now. That's like the 16th pick or whatever. That's not a scrub. That's a good player.
Maybe.
Like,
let's go over to let's go over Portland's last 3 first round picks
that were drafted by who? Neil O'Shea. That doesn't count. You can't do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has 1 good first round pick in the last probably decade, and
it's Simons.
Yeah, Anthony Simons. But other than that, I mean, he whiffed on.
Well, that's his fault. He's a bum. Neil O'Shea's a moron. We've been over this. If you get a competent GM that has mid-round picks like that, 16th pick or whatever, they can use those. Like that's an asset. And 3 of those, and like and you're giving up CJ. That's a bad trade.
So what would you trade then?
Well, if the Sixers asked me for CJ, a young player, and 3 picks, I'd say no. But I'd counter with like CJ, young player, and 1 or 2 picks, maybe trying to.
So you do it for 2 picks and not 3?
No, I'd do it for 1. I'd say not 2. I'd do it for 1. because C.J. McCollum and Ben Simmons are totally different players. I think Ben Simmons is a little more impactful, but they're about the same because C.J. McCollum can actually score the fucking basketball.
Right.
I don't think Portland changes that much. I mean, their dynamic changes, obviously, and they get better defensively if they swap Ben Simmons for C.J. McCollum. But it's win-wise, I think they're about the same team. So giving up a bunch of picks after that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. I just think, I mean, it's very clear that they just need to trade CJ. It hasn't worked. We've been doing this for like.
Well, what about trading Dame? That's been the report as well. You could get a shit ton of stuff from Philly if you traded Dame. You could get probably Ben Simmons, Maxey, some picks.
Matisse Thybulle, probably.
Thybulle, like
so that helps you a lot defensively there.
You could get all those guys picks and even some like random bullshit like second round picks or something like that. And then you'd still have McCollum and Nurkic as well as Ben Simmons. And then on the bench, you'd have Thybulle and Maxey, and you'd have a couple picks. That helps the Sixers because they probably they'd like to have Dame, Tobias, and Embiid rather than just Simmons, who doesn't play, Tobias, who's hurt right now, and then Embiid. And it guts their bench a little bit, but they still have Curry, they still have some guard play, and they have Damian Lillard. So like, and so like that trade helps both teams, doesn't it?
I think that's a little less likely. I mean, clearly, that was Philly's dream scenario.
But if you want to trade, if you want to change your franchise, you're the Blazers. What better way to do it than obviously that would not be a very popular move with the fans. They would.
I think they're looking at this more as Neil O'Shea is gone. Now we can build around Dame. I mean, it might be really too late for that, but I think they want to give it a fair chance to see what they can put around Dame without Neil O'Shea calling the shots. So I think that's a lot less likely, and I think CJ for Ben is probably what we're going to see. I mean, I think it makes the most sense.
Yeah, it would.
And I think Ben is a guy that Portland really, really could use right now. I don't think there's one above average defender on Portland right now. Like, being completely honest.
Nurkic has his moments. I'd say he's above average.
I watched Rudy Gobert toss him around the other day.
I think he has his moments. He has games where he's a real menace in the paint.
I still just don't. I don't think guys fear him the way that they used to. I mean, and part of it is because
he's not great.
Of it is because he came off that nasty leg injury, and he's not as aggressive as he was before, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't be either. But I mean, I think he's maybe very slightly above average defender. And Robert Covington isn't the lockdown guy he was in 2018.
He's trash. I hate Robert Covington's game.
Dude, I used to love Robert Covington. He used
to be a good 3-and-D guy. Now he can't do either. So
exactly. And you look at this team and they don't have that stopper on the wing like the other contenders do. Like the Suns have Mikal Bridges, the Warriors have Draymond Green. All that.
Everyone.
He'd have Jimmy Butler on the
PJ
wing.
PJ
Tucker, all of that. I mean, they just don't have that stopper at the wing that they're going to be able to throw at guy at like LeBron or
they slow them down. They're just getting railroaded every game.
Right. Yeah, it's I think the trade for Ben Simmons is the only thing that is going to maybe save this season and help them in the future.
Well, it's also interesting because most times, more often than not, when you hire a new GM, he wants his own coach in there. He wants his guy. So does that mean Chauncey's on the hot seat just by default because the guy that hired him is no longer around?
I think I think it's possible.
Yeah,
because I don't think,
and it's not like he's killing it either. His team sucks. They're very mediocre.
Yeah,
they're 1-10 on the road.
And
that's bad coaching.
And he's called them out too. And he's gone on to say that these guys, for
better or for worse, he's called them out.
Yeah, he's gone on to say that these guys aren't motivated and that they don't get up wanting to win basketball games. All this stuff, and he's called them out for.
You have to think part of that's coaching.
Yeah, right.
Getting your guys ready to play and motivated. Like, it's kind of your job, Chauncey, but
exactly. And he's called them out on defense and all of that. Where I don't know how that's rubbing guys in the locker room.
Or Damian Lillard specifically. It's all about Dame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who gives a shit what, like Larry Nance Jr. thinks? Like it's all Dame.
Yeah. Sorry, Larry, but we don't give a shit what you think.
Exactly. But no, I think there is a possibility that Chauncey could be gone after this season, which would be interesting. And I think
so. It could be like well, I don't know. I was gonna say John Beeline situation, but it's very different than
that. Does he take the Kings position then?
Chauncey?
Yeah.
I
don't think so.
Maybe. I don't know. There's a couple guys that have always been floating around the NBA.
I don't know. I don't know who's going to be jumping at that.
Becky Hammond.
Maybe.
I remember she was. Well, the Kings have a woman assistant coach as well right now, I think.
Yeah, because
which is like one of.
Didn't Chauncey get the job over Becky Hammond for?
Yeah. I heard Becky Hammond didn't interview well this offseason.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if obviously I don't even know what they ask in interviews. That'd be really interesting.
Honestly, yeah.
Because it's not just it's not like, what do you think of the company? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, what can you bring to this company?
Yeah, flexible hours or whatever. But apparently she didn't interview well, and I think that's interesting, especially because you get the sense that she's kind of waiting around for Pop to retire so that she can inherit the Spurs. Yeah. But like, the Spurs aren't a crazy roster to inherit. It's not like you're inheriting a gold mine. You're inheriting like a cattle ranch.
Yeah, exactly. some interesting guys, but nothing. Nothing that I think.
Does anyone jump out at you for coaches? Either a guy that they can pull from college realistically, or like some assistant somewhere.
Who for Portland?
For anyone.
Sacramento as well. I think for Portland, and this all just comes down to if he would want to, move from college to the NBA. I think Juwan Howard could be cool.
Yeah, I think Juwan Howard's going to coach pro game. Yeah, eventually. I get that vibe from him.
No, 100%.
Because he was an assistant.
Yeah.
He
was assistant for the Heat, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was assistant for the Heat.
He was believe it or not, he was part of the Heatles. He was like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah, I remember. But I mean, he's got that Heat culture. And
going on, that's a good pick. I like that.
I think
Michigan hasn't been so hot this year either in college, which is funny. He's got a cushy job there, but I kind of like that move.
Yeah, so. I think it could be solid bringing in Juwan Howard. But other than that, I don't know who is what other coaches are out there floating around, or and I don't know.
Vanterpool. His name's been brought up a little bit.
Because I doubt that they will probably do the first-year coach thing again either. I don't know.
The Blazers?
The Blazers, yeah, like how they brought in Chauncey.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Mark Jackson, come on down. No, that was a joke.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Nobody should hire Mark Jackson for anything. Not even to broadcast, because he can't do that either. Like, as a head coach, he'd be even worse.
Yeah, no, don't hire Mark Jackson.
Fred Hoiberg's going to be available after this season, probably.
Oh yeah, because Nebraska's shit, aren't they?
They're bad. Yeah, even though he signed like a 10-year deal. I don't know. Jim Boylan.
Yeah, I was about to say Jim Boylan's probably sitting at home right now.
Nate Bjorkgren for the Pacers, who like everyone hated and were like physically fighting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who was he? He was trying to fight somebody.
Goga Bitadze.
Goga Bitadze, yeah.
Physically beat the fuck out of him, which is funny because to hate your coach that much.
Yeah, what the hell? But I mean, there's a lot of things that Portland needs to do. I think it's close to. They're close to maybe blowing it up. How many more first-round exits can you really take until you realize?
Or missing the playoffs.
Yeah, which
they not even make the playoffs this year. Like that, I'd probably say they wouldn't going this rate. But
I think that they might be okay with that this season and just be able to blame it on, first-year coach, and we fired our GM early on, and all that stuff. And I think.
Do you think they make deadline moves this year?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I think
big ones.
Well, I think CJ is going to get moved to the deadline. I
don't think they'll wait until the offseason for the because presumably you'd want the new GM to make the moves instead of an interim guy.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't know what the process is like for that. And sometimes this happened with the Timberwolves. The interim guy could become the new GM.
The new GM, yeah.
I don't know anything about the Portland managerial structure.
Right.
But
that also, I mean, like the CJ move, I feel like is something that anybody could do too. I mean, it's not like that's a move that everybody kind of saw coming.
Yeah, but to have that flexibility, I guess.
Right.
Because once you're trading an asset like an all-star for sort of smaller pieces, I'd say young players and picks and stuff like that, you can really get selective with what young players you want and what picks you want. And I think leaving that up to the new GM so you can sort of break apart this team the way he wants would be pretty, that could attract GM talent from good front offices like Utah has been pretty successful the past couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
Brooklyn, maybe. I bet Miami, the Clippers, teams that have a culture and know how to win games with regardless of talent. The Warriors, the Suns. So there's going to be some appealing jobs if they have those guys intact, ready to be broken apart like just a huge blow up operation or whatever. So
right, definitely. But I mean, those are just some of our ideas of how to fix the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, there's gonna maybe be a new coach next year, definitely a new GM. There's moves that need to be made. They need to work on the defensive side of things, and they need to work on being less redundant on offense too. I mean, him and Dame and CJ very much kind of just go out there and do the same thing.
Alternate.
Exactly. They just it's like a my turn, your turn. Thing out there.
Never worked pretty much ever. So
no, for sure. But let us know what ideas you guys have of maybe who Portland should hire as the head coach, or what kind of trades you think they should make. If they should trade CJ, if they should trade Nurkic. Maybe use Anthony Simons as an asset to go and get something as well too. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, exactly. But that is all that we have for you today on the Triangle Defense. Do all of those YouTube things, hit that thumbs up. It goes a very long way. Subscribe and hit post notifications so you do not miss another episode. And like I said, comment down below and let us know anything that you thought about the show, any ideas, any criticism, anything, and we will be here to talk about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back soon.